Hey, everybody. I know I've been lacking in these. I got a lot of stuff going on between personal life and personal problems and the ex baby mama drama and coming to copes with a whole bunch of bullshit dealing with a teenage girl or a preteen girl right now. But anyhow, we get some updates. We get some big news next week. Uh, there is some big breaking news that we are being let in on the ground floor, and I can't tell you about. But opposed to all the live shows that I'm doing, I have to pre-record this because with the person I'm going to be interviewing, uh, and I can't tell you his name because otherwise you might be like, "Ooh, what's the rumor mill?" Uh, but we will be pre-recording that on Monday. Monday night, I'm going to be pre-recording the interview with him, and and you will find out I can't uh, actually post the interview until next month. But next Friday, I'm going to have Dinesh and Warren from Big Idea. Yes, the button people. We're going to see if we can smash the button and get rid of that silly thing. And they're making silly videos where the button's talking to people. Kind of like, kind of like a cracked out version of, you know, that old Disney black hole movie with Hal. Yeah, that. So anyhow, we get that going on. Excuse me. I've got a lot of other interviews that are being lined up. Um, we are still working on a time and day for Jeff Lemire. That will be coming up before we know it. He said he wanted to do it this month, so uh, I have to reach out to him and his people again to try to lock that down. I have an interview coming up this week on, of course, Creators Outlet um, with a new Kickstarter just started a couple days ago. And the hint I'm going to give you on this, if you read the video post I shared out earlier on on Twitter, or you've checked out the channel today, you'll figure out who it is. But um, what's interesting about this is these guys are bigwigs in entertainment, and that this is their first comic book. It's not the first comic book from this publisher, but it is their first comic book, and it's pardon me, it's the co-creators of this book, and one of them is one of the creators that work on bum ba ba. I was going to say Ren and Stimpy, and I'm like, that's wrong, but it reminds me of Ren and Stimpy, especially around the eyes. That is, and I can't remember the name of the cartoon because I actually don't watch it, and I just canceled all my streaming services. Um, Swifty, that should give you a clue. That cartoon right there. One of the gentlemen is one of the writers for that series. Um, I've got some more stuff coming up. I am plunging into trying to get Mike and Mindy Wheeler, the people behind the brand new platform specifically for indie creators IndieCrowdfund.com. And, everybody's like, goes, oh, yeah, well, Kickstarter. Well, Kickstarter does everything. It's a money-raising platform. It is not a comic book creator platform. It's a platform for anybody doing anything. And the same with Indiegogo. A lot of people like Indiegogo because you can run your camp. You can do a pre-run on your campaign before the campaign actually launches to get people interested and sign up and have some more time to push your branding and everything. And then after your campaign ends, you can still keep it up for 30 days afterwards for them to actually just outright purchase your book from Indiegogo. So they can do it and you get like a notification and like, I sold another book. Great. Give me the Gemini mailer, put it in there, put a thank you note in there, blah, 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 wrap it up, write the info on it, and ship it out the next day. IndieCrowdfund.com lets you choose how long you want your campaign up for. You can add to the campaign. Mike and Mindy are more than happy to help you out with anything you might need. I don't believe I'm shilling like this brand new platform like I'm Pop Sealy. Oh, I'm sorry, Pops Van Sant. But anyhow, I think it's a great idea because it's specifically for indie comics creators. I think it's so good that I almost want to write a book myself, but anyhow, it's a really cool idea. The Wheelers who created this whole thing, this is specifically to get indie comics into stores. There's Danny, and I can't remember his last name, who works for a fairly prominent comic shop in South Florida where they can't keep indie books on the shelves. Like, it's got to be like a huge college audience that, I don't want none of that mainstream stuff. I can't read mainstream comics because that's a sellout. I don't think it is, but anyhow. Moving on, a little bit of news. Now, I've been bitching my whole life. It's what I do. I always find something to complain about. If I can find the negative in something, it means I won't be as disappointed. It means I won't go home and cry. But I've been bitching ever since, prior to the first DC fandom. And they've got another DC fandom coming up on the 12th, which is supposed to be mostly for comics. There was one thing I got excited about, except for the fact that, The Rock and his whole family have supposedly come down with the election infection, COVID-19. Hello, person watching. Say hello in the comments. I saw some artwork that Doug Mankey's been working on, or not. I drew attention to somebody watching the pod. Somebody came into the podcast, so I said to say something and and they ran away. That's okay. People will watch this afterwards. I saw some awesome artwork from Doug Mankey. I love his work. But it's all for the Black Adam panel. Speaking of which, I came across an issue of Black Adam #1 the other day because I've been, as you can see, all those boxes back there. This box is here behind me. whoops, to that way, reverse angle. I don't have a lot of boxes here now. I'm working on getting all my stuff here. I got to call my buddy Goody later on and see what's up with him and see, I got to get people to be able to do it on a Sunday. I gotta call in like a huge favor with my PCA. I got to see how his van's running, if it's running well enough to take the weight of a shit ton of boxes and be able to drive from, make the round trip from here to Warwick, and get a bunch of other people that are willing to do it. They're going to get boxes. They got to strap all the stuff down, like in the back of trucks or vans or whatever, and bring it here. Going to need a couple of, but come on. I'm talking to them, talking to you guys. So bitching about DC. I've been bitching about this SJW crap for a long time. I'm not a comic skater, but I'm behind the first line of what they say. I don't care what you're into. Just make good stories with great characters and entertain me. I don't want to deal with your political bashing and, all this other crap. So, of course, DC hired somebody with the initials of DC who has been running video game companies. So everything's about cost-cutting budgets, which means you're going to see a lot more people get their heads chopped at DC. This guy's going to be in a lead position. He's not going to quite have all the power that Dan DiDio had, but it's going to be close. Jim Lee, even though I love all of his comic work, he should have stayed working in comics. Instead, he took the big jobs and get the big pay, and now they got him by the cojones. And Jim Lee is just DC's bitch. He's a puppet on a string. And, because everybody loves Jim Lee. So they're just dangling him out there. Dance, bitch, dance. And that's what's happening. And DC is going woker and woker. And hashtag go woke, go broke. Because, as much as I love my DC comics and characters, and my number one, of course, is Batman. So I've been collecting and reading Batman and Detective Comics since I was 4 years old. And it will be the hardest thing I ever quit, buying new comics. But it looks like I'm going that way, because I saw the announcement where DC is celebrating Wonder Women through history. And as much as I say I hate doing, political stuff in comic book commentary, I'm going there. Because, of course, the Wonder Women through history, and they're giving these Wonder Women special edition comics, telling their supposed stories. Since it's in a comic book, I don't know if it's going to be, legit or exactly what they're doing with these. But, of course, one of the first Wonder Women they named, was it Harriet Tubman? No. Rosa Parks? No. Amelia Earhart? No. Freaking AOC, that glorified fucking bartender. The bitch whose idea it was to save the post office was to start a national pen pal program and make it so that you didn't even have to write the notes to the pen pals. It would be postcard size, and you could just print it up from your computer like everybody's got printers that can handle, high-end cardstock, and slap a stamp on, buy stamps and put a stamp on it and mail it. Hey, stupid. You ever hear of email? Mm-hmm. When email came around, it was accessible for free to people. The post office lost millions of dollars. What they're not taking into account is how much they're overcharging for packages and shipping. They used to have if it fits, it ships. They got rid of that in a hurry. Then they raise the prices on everything year after year, but everybody high end up in the USPS is making hundreds of thousands of dollars, where they should be, making like just like a good paycheck, not a great paycheck. They're not really doing anything, for the most part, but micromanaging, people. Because once the USPS shipping prices go up just so far, it's going to be cheaper to ship, with FedEx or, the brown clowns. And we get the same kind of treatment shipping comics and collectibles from all three of these ninnies. So, okay, I'm done ranting. I didn't do a podcast last night. There's a good chance I'm probably not gonna do one tonight either. Thursday night, Thomas and I are gonna rehash and try to redo the OK Boomer from last week that failed because of technical difficulties, and we're going to try to get through Nick Fury #1, who is Scorpio. I got to talk to him later on. I might actually launch the podcast myself. So I know it's not his computer. He just picked up a really good gaming tower from a buddy of his. So it's not his computer. It worked fine the week before. I think it's the jackrabbits that have his internet just screwed him over. I don't think he can do the bandwidth. So maybe, even though this goes straight to the StreamYard cloud server, and as sad as it is that my internet is better than his, but we're going to try to get that on Thursday. And Friday, of course, we've got one of the creators of Swifty, who wrote a comic book with another gentleman, and they're going to be in the podcast. And the other gentleman actually wrote a comic series for Action Lab called, I think, Baby Teeth. So he will, they both made this book together. It looks and sounds really cool. The artwork's really top notch. So I will be having that Friday night. In the meantime, I'm going to be checking in with StreamYard to figure out how to do a few other things, including pre-recording. Because, I need to figure that out before Monday. And do a couple of dry runs and see how it goes. So we will see what goes on with that, and I'll be on Thursday night with Thomas for OK Boomer, and I'll be here Friday night with Creators Outlet. And of course, like I said, I've already got 2 booked for next week. One is the pre-recording on Monday night, which I'm already like super excited about because the new series he's coming on to talk about. They can't even say anything until next month about it. So, and I got like a special screener edition that I'm reading. I'm like a few pages into it now, and it's pretty damn awesome. I mean, within like 2 or 3 pages, I had my heart ripped out of my chest and stomped on the floor. So it's pretty epic opening. That's it. Take a look at the posting for Friday's podcast and read through the notes. There is a link either up above or down below, depending on where you're looking at the show description, whether it's on the Outright Geekery Facebook page or on my YouTube channel here and the Outright Geekery YouTube channel. So there's a link there, of course, as always. Well, as always for the past few weeks. Big thank you to our sponsor, SpinWiz Comics. SpinWizComics.com, your number one platform for discovering indie and webcomics. With over 86 independent publishers on board on the site, including Source Point Press, amongst others. And just about everything on that site is free to read. If you're more than welcome to buy a PDF, and you can download it for a nominal fee, and whatever you pay, 70% of that goes directly to the creators of that book. Pretty soon there will be a print-on-demand service. So if you see a book and you read it and you love that book so much that you want that book in your collection, which you should do, SpinWiz will be soon to be offering a print-on-demand service. So you can click a different button, print-on-demand, and that book that you just read that you love to hell, they'll print that up and they'll print and ship it to you. It's a good place to check out books. I got to read Ogre #1 from Bob Seeley, and I also read Dead End Kids #1 from Frank Gogol there. Both great books. And I started reading this black and white graphic novel. It's got some adult content in it, so it's like, kind of like an NC-17. I think mostly for violence and stuff. But oh wow, it's good. It's so good. It's making me believe in the black and white books again. Speaking of which, a lot of people that backed Ryland Grant's Jump issue 1 should have it in their hands. I noticed that. Pardon me. I noticed that our friend Brian Wayne over at Cheers to Comics had his in his hand. He did a little promo pick of it. I can't really do a promo pick because I get the digital version, but I got the digital version. I had to download 24 things today. He gave you like all kinds of like free digital books, a couple of which were, his prior works. And, of course, all kinds of cool bonus stuff like the, like you get like the script of the book, you get raw pencils of the book in one file, you get the inks over those raw pencils in another. And it goes on and on. It's just, it's great. I can't wait to sit down and read it. I need to finish reading this other book for the Monday thing first. And And then I have other books from that writer that I need to finish reading in a folder that was just sent to me. So yeah, that stuff's going on. And other than that, I'm gonna go make another cup of coffee. Supposedly, my baby mama drama will be showing up with my daughter. Be nice. I haven't seen her in like 3 friggin' months. But I'm trying to get as much work in as I can right now. I got a bunch of PR stuff that went up, most of which isn't really relevant because it's just like, pre-PR stuff, like some image stuff that just came in. But it's just telling you about this book, but it's not coming out until spring of next year. So I'll probably get like 3 or 4 more PRs about this between now and then. But, if you think of anything, please let me know. Hit up those links, and please check out Spinwiz Comics, and also the Kickstarter link is in the description for that, for the double interview I'm doing on Friday. So please go check that out. It is the first book that publisher is doing available both in English and Spanish. So that's pretty freaking cool. Like, I only know like a handful of words in Spanish. Most of them I can't repeat here. So, not that I care, but that's that. I've been rambling and carrying on awful. This is why I need my own Oscar from Lost in Comics to come in and like blurt me out with a video of the year. I'm going the way he does to tell Chris to shut up because he's going over time. But that's it for me. I'm